Oh, there we go, baby.
Oh, was that more to everybody's liking?
That was good. I'm hoping it comes
Not too
through.
fast.
Chris calls me and he pops cans. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Is that a good one?
Is that too much? You know?
No, it was good.
Right.
And you're not coming off as hot as last Saturday. Every time
I was ready. I was wound up from the week before on that.
Every time I heard the podcast, you because all these people listening around us, you come off so hot in that podcast. It's ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us here on a wonderful Saturday night. Pregame is starting strong. We got a little light on the table today, so it feels like we got to get back to some whiskeys. Once we settle down on a regular routine here, we got to try some more whiskeys. That the Netflix show that we watched really had me wanting to try all the whiskeys. But thank you again for joining us here. It's your first time listening. Please check out another episode. 41 is one of my favorites. 42 was good. Chris is really loud in that one.
I'm loud in all of them.
41, you really get to hear what Chris breathes like.
Go to like episode 1, 2, maybe up to 10, where I say maybe like 15 words.
So Chris is a very shy young individual.
I don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. If you're coming back because you enjoy our podcast, we can't thank you enough.
Or if you got something better to do in your life.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Listen, hopefully you're getting a little bit of enjoyment out of this because we definitely loved it. Check us out on podcast S&P for Instagram and Twitter. You can reach us at the S&P podcast at gmail.com. We got t-shirts. We got all types of content. Hit us up. Let us know what's going on.
We still have t-shirts.
We do.
We're all out of stickers, but we still have t-shirts.
Yeah, I got a couple stickers stuff.
There we go. So we got to make sure we bring some to Philly this weekend. The boys, the Saturday night pregamers, will be in Philadelphia this weekend.
The S&P peers.
I'm ready for the second round of t-shirts. I got some good sayings to put on the second round of t-shirts.
Yeah, no, we got to get our website together first, and then so we can sell these shirts and not just have them sit in my bedroom.
You're not really selling people wanting to buy them if you've been in your bedroom.
No way. Listen. Come on, friend. So, boys, this is your first time listening. There's a few rules to the game. No swearing in the first 15 minutes.
Because we're so bad. We're so great at getting on the YouTubes these days.
Yes. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in that.
Ooh, this is a good 30-minute intro, baby. I like it. The Saturday night pregame is your typical pregame. It's guys getting together, friends getting together, ladies getting together, going over stories, going over the week, things that are grinding your gears, things that you've heard that are that make your week, past stories that you want to repeat for the
pretty much just random things.
You weren't there for it, but
yes, for the 900th time that you want to talk about. We have a bunch of fun here, and tonight I'm looking forward to it because I got the grind your gear section might be an hour long.
This podcast might literally just be grind your gears.
Well, what are you drinking here tonight? What's on tap?
So what's on tap tonight, Mr. Lynch, is good catch, Patrick.
Oh, and our favorite guest, who's been the record 6 times. The sixth Pete.
He's 6.
Saxon Pepsi.
He said 7 words in 6 podcasts. He's rocking it hard.
He's ready. He's got a few choice words for you tonight, Mr. Lynch. Yeah, but okay, so tonight we're drinking.
If he wants to tell it to me in the next 12 minutes, that'd be preferable. If he does
don't do that, Pepsi. Know the rules, baby. Know the rules.
If you're a guest to break it, you got to do 2 shots.
If he swears at a certain individual on the podcast, that individual he swears at has to do the shot for him. So you better be a little nice to him.
You might want to be nice to him, friend.
No, I did not accept those rules.
You don't get to decide.
You don't get to choose, friend. So what I'm drinking tonight is one of Pat's, probably the best thing Pat's ever brought into my life, is a mix of Summer Sandy.
That's the best thing, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Hands down. I'm even questioning.
Setting a real high bar here.
Yeah. Summer Sandy and the Leinenkugel Berry Weiss. You mix them together, you get this unbelievable concoction that gives you 8% alcohol because if you put 2 beers together,
and they're 4%.
Law of averages.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it because you get 2 beers down like this. You're already feeling good. The pregame is set. Now you can open it up to wherever you want to go. But tonight, I stopped at everybody's favorite spot, Walmart. And, because we're going to Philly, so I had to get, a little bit of the travel stuff. And
I went to the Target. Did you mind?
It's easy for you. And Target's a little step up. Walmart at 6 o'clock.
Mine is very small, so it doesn't have quite the number of people.
But you don't get the backwoods people. Peter gets it.
Holy sweet baby rape. And I go to this Walmart usually once a month. And I'll stock up for stuff at the office for myself. And in the morning at 7 o'clock, nobody. It's my Walmart. I own the place. I come there today at 7 o'clock. I was like, what is going on in this place?
They have a rally cup going down the middle.
Holy sweet baby Ray. There is, I get it because there's a labor shortage. So they have young, but it's nice to see kids working again. So they have all the registers because you can't do self-checkout if you have alcohol because there's no one monitoring self-checkout. I swear to God, I saw a guy and a lady, a little bit suspect, pretend to bring everything up.
Define suspect. Like suspect is
like rat tail, lady. Okay. Literally, I'm not even making this up. I'm in the Walmart. I'm in the aisle. I'm looking at like the travel section.
Mullet.
Lady walks by me. Her husband walks by me. Nice enough guy says, "Hey, excuse me." I'm like, "Oh, excuse me." So I look up and I look back. This dude, straight up like kind of crazy looking. Got a rat tail. No joke. His lady friend walks behind, like right next. I swear I'm not even looking at her at all. And she looks down at herself and she's like, "Yeah, I look like a slut today." And I was like shell shocked. Just like Graham, like I just
be like, "No, you look like an angel."
I literally grabbed like
Peter drops everything in his hands. I'm done shopping for the day.
So that set the stage for me. So I walk away. I let them get out of the aisle. I can't be around this. I feel like I'm going to see some domestic stuff. I'm out. So then I go and I run over to the liquor section and and they've got actually a very nice.
Is this a grind your gears already here?
No. This is just how we got to Coors beer.
Okay.
I was looking at they have a wonderful selection of craft beers. And I'm really enjoying it. After we got that Saison, like I was really enjoying the craft beers. I want to find one for tonight. And I was like, I'm not looking. I'm not reading anything. I saw what I've wanted to try for a while. Coors Pure. Went and grabbed
pure lat beer.
And what Coors Pure is organic hops, organic barley, and water. Pure light beer.
And no sugar.
It is 92 calories, so it's not much. It's 110 for a regular.
I believe that's right. Look at the can.
The ingredients is very simple. Water, organic barley, malt, yeast, organic hops. That is really simple. So it's not going to taste good. I got a bad feeling. So as I open this up, Chris he's got a regular Coors.
102 calories.
This is
it's not gonna fit
12
in the
ounces.
either.
It's not. It's a little skinnier.
It won't fit in the
Because you know why they did this? They want to make you feel like you're skinny.
You know what it says? They literally ran out of their stupid. They
put the reserve.
They had all these Coors seltzer cans that they thought they were going to get rid of. Coors seltzers were going to run out.
This, I'll let you guys decide.
Chris, that's probably not half incorrect about the can thing.
It smells like feet.
Wait, you always go 2 sips before you give an opinion.
Mine has all this wax on it.
Sorry, I got a little excited in the car.
It tastes a little fuller, like
banquet beer.
Yeah,
I went right to the banquet beer.
It tastes more like a Coors than a Coors Light.
That's what I was thinking, but I like it.
It's not bad.
I like
it better than the Hellas thing we had last week.
Yeah, no, that was garbage.
That didn't taste like anything.
Pepsi, would you like to try a Coors beer? Oh, okay, great. Here, let me open you up one. Way to be a team player, Pat.
I mean, he didn't say anything last year, but he had the biggest smile on his face.
Yes.
And he's like, feed me.
Come on.
Feed me the Coors.
Well, Chris McGraw likes a good Coors Light. And listen, I don't know if
I'm drinking Coors Pure Light.
And what do you think of
and Coors Light?
Where's the Coors Light? The other one at?
Right there.
Can you hand me that one to see what the taste does? But hey, Coors, here we go again.
We're doubling it up this week.
We're doubling it up. We're tasting. We're even testing your new products here. We would tell you if it was garbage. So I don't know why you guys haven't thought, let's sponsor the Saturday Night Pregame podcast. You're not sponsoring any other podcast.
Let me try that.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. Ooh, I don't. Yeah, you're not beating the original. There's just no beating the original.
It tastes more like a Coors than a Coors Light.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it says light beer, but it doesn't taste
Coors
as
beer.
light.
Yeah.
It tastes like they took the regular one and just put like water in it.
Can I tell you a story?
I'm sure. That's what we're here for.
Max, in our secret text message chain that is excluded Pat, sent us a picture today that literally...
I'm going to get on at the wedding, I'm getting on the mic and I'm going to talk to all of you guys about
this. my heart
Secret time no more!
My heart's sake. So I'm working with a client and I see my phone going off. And I go to... And so after, I'm off the phone.
When was this?
Tuesday.
Monday, I think.
Monday?
No, I think it was... Yeah, because I was with you, I think.
No, yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What you told me the other day?
Huh? Yeah, because I told him Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. So I go through and I literally see the picture. In Philadelphia right now, they have a shortage of Coors Lights.
Oh no, I think that may have been Tuesday. Yes.
Yes, and they have a shortage of Coors Lights. You can only have one case per customer, and there was only one case on the shelf. And I get it; it's very specific of that area, maybe, but it sank my heart if Philly's in a shortage.
So it sounds like we're going to be doing Smokey the Bandit tonight and start load them up and just drive across the.
Everybody in that text message chain was like, "The McGraws are going to literally pack. They're not packing clothes; they're packing Coors Lights."
Checking Coors Light because
and I was like,
Can you check a cake?
Yeah. No, I was about to text Kevin. Kevin's driving. Kevin, your car is gonna be full of beer.
We'll take the kid.
And if that didn't work out, Joe Keneally was renting a car. His ass would have been driving to New York, to Washington D.C., to Baltimore. He'd gotten all the
Virginia. We're gonna get out to New Hampshire.
All the Coors Light.
Everything. But I literally legitimately was like, oh, this is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
They do have I always pronounce it.
Yuling or something like that.
I always say it's like Yingling, but it's not right.
I think that may actually be the correct pronunciation.
They have a new light version of it. It's called Flight.
I've never heard of it. Is it good?
They don't sell it. They don't sell it to site. It's kind of like the Spotted Cow of the East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we definitely have to put that one on the list.
Yeah. Frank brought back some when he went to visit his brother in Pennsylvania.
What'd you think?
It's good. It's like a lighter. It's kind of like this actually.
Okay. So back to my Walmart story.
That's like the Coors Pure, in case for those of you who can't see us right now.
so to finish Peter's story, it was only the glass bottles that you could get one case of. They still had cans. Woo!
Yeah.
Crisis averted.
I'll take. I'm nervous. I don't know how Max's wedding is going to go, but every wedding I've been to is usually it's either Bud Light, Budweiser, or Miller Lite, MGD. I've not been in a lot of weddings that's been Coors Lights.
Gavin had an interesting selection of beer at his.
Yeah, but he got it done by.
He brought his own beer. I think.
Yeah, but he did it by Costco.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't
recall.
I don't think Costco at the time had Coors Light. I think they were only selling Bud Light and Miller Lite.
He had some craft beers I'd never seen.
Yeah,
like locals.
Not recommended. But yeah, to finish that story,
I'm only gonna have Coors Light in my wedding if I ever get married. It's just gonna be Coors Light.
When you get married, you know who got married? Mark Norman.
Okay. Great segue there.
You guys got to start listening to Tuesday's with stories. Mark Norman and
Hey, Joe Keneally's not here tonight. We're not diving into you guys talking about podcasts, other podcasts, and plugging other people. All right, we're focusing on the S&P podcast
here. It's
here.
Phenomenal. And if you're not
listen, all I do is watch Gordon Ramsay yell at people on Hell's Kitchen.
All I listen to is Jerry Lawler and Sting's podcast, The King of the Sting. It's really good. I love it.
I just watch Gordon Ramsay yell at people, calling them an idiot sandwich.
Me and Chris are such different people. He loves, like when there's drama or confrontation in shows.
I love Gordon's fake. That's all fake, but I love how he screams at people.
I just like watching. I don't like confrontation.
We can't quote it for another minute.
One at a time.
We can't quote it for another minute 30 though.
I don't like cringe, like worthy stuff like that. Like I don't like I just like watching him. Like somebody's like cooking something, and he's like, "Guys, it's bleeping raw. It's bleeping raw."
Oh, you watch Hell's Kitchen? I like the one where he goes in and fixes the restaurant.
No, Hell's Kitchen. That's the best. Where he's got like all these like really good chefs, and like
I just feel too bad for people. Like I can't stand when people get yelled at. It kills me. Like
they need to be better in life.
It'd be like him being
you're trying to coddle this generation again.
No, that we can get into that too. But that's another grind your gear. No, I like when I'm watching Oz. Like I can't stand like it's all like bad things. It's just literally bad thing. No, the prison show. It's just bad thing after bad thing. I'm like, there's no levity in this. Like life is bad enough. Like I don't like watching shows where it's all bad.
Prison's not fun, Peter. It's not supposed to be fun.
You're right. I get that. So that's why I stopped watching it. I can't stand bad. Like I don't want to watch people like just like the worst feeling in the world all day. Like it's just I don't know. Some people do. Some people maybe their life is perfect. My life kind of sucks. I don't need it to be worse with a little bit of a bad TV show.
You got accosted at Walmart today. That's why.
Still gotta watch Justified though. It's a good show.
Justified, yeah, it's on the list.
And now back to your Walmart story, where we've literally gone off this tangent.
So I don't even know how this ended. I don't know where we're ending it. But I was just saying that there's a bunch of kids now.
And with you buying Coors Pure.
Yes, there's a bunch of kids.
Check out
there's a bunch of kids working at Walmart and you got to check the self-checkout because there's usually nobody working there. So if you get alcohol, you're standing around until somebody decides to walk over.
You're like, help.
I need the Red Power Ranger. Help. So I went to the checkout line, and I look at all 3 checkout lines. None of them are that busy, but they're all children. And I was like,
so you got the 21 check anyway, so either way you're waiting?
Yeah. So then I'll grind my gear is the manager guy in front of me has Modelo.
Did he have the Especial or the Negro?
Especial. I strategically placed my Coors Pure right next to his Modelo, thinking this guy is a manager at Walmart. He's smart. He's got this.
Wrong.
You've been to Walmart, right?
Scans the Modelo.
Did he go on break afterwards?
I felt like he did. Because this poor lady was like, she went this way, and then she went right, and then she went left. And
No, there's another. He's gone. It's not coming back, guys. It's
and then I didn't know. But so that's the awkward moment. You say, hey, buddy, I'm going to be, just give me a second.
I would have been. I'd be like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Going to be 2 minutes, buddy.
But then you're that kind of guy who's like, you're kind of trying to tell him. I felt like I was trying to tell him. Because I worked
He's not going to spin your Coors Light. It's already sealed up, baby.
That's true.
And it's a Walmart. You ain't going there that often.
If I was that cash register lady, I just went to the bathroom and never came back and let you just walk out with everything.
But that's what I think one person did. Was like, they were just tired. And so, here we go. My night took some turns in Wild. So when I went over by the self-checkout.
So you went in the line and then went back to self-checkout?
No. So I went and checked out the self-checkout. And I saw these people, like, as I'm walking, because you have to walk past the self-checkout to get to because I saw there was no one in there. So then I see these people, like, kind of scanning some stuff, and then just start walking out. And one of the managers walking this way caught the whole thing and chases them out. And I'm like, well, this dude's about to get just stopped on. Same people that I met, the lovely people I met in the alley.
The lady dressed as a slut?
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Her words, not mine.
Yes, her words, definitely her words. This guy's going to get stomped out. I need to buy alcohol. I'm never leaving this beautiful store. This is where I'm going to live forever.
Well, if you're going to stuck somewhere, being in a Walmart, there's a lot of options.
Right. A lot of food. Wasn't. You know what?
Plenty of alcohol.
Just hide out in the outdoor
There's like 90 TVs. You can watch all the NFL games.
That's true. So then, I finally get everything. I'm on the road to Pat's house. I get off at Lawrence, and there's a bum fight.
Nice.
Oh, not good. And I'm thinking in my head,
like, are we talking like backyard boxing?
We're not talking boxing yet, but you could tell these two people were fighting for turf. Like, one guy touched the other guy, one pushed the other guy.
I love a good turf war.
Yeah. One guy was a little bit bigger. It would have been an even match. I'm talking, we're talking TJ Dillashaw.
Did you pull over and get the popcorn?
You know what sucked? There's a guy behind me beeping. And I was like, man,
come on, look to the left, buddy, to the left.
Can we just see what's going to happen? Do we need to call the cops? And then I literally, after that, I just text Lauren, and I'm like, the world is kind of crazy. Like, the world is a little crazy.
There was some kind of thing going on over here at the U-Haul thing the other day. I went by one of the grocery store. And there's two guys kind of like squaring up, and when it came back, there was like a cop car there, and they're going to talk to each other. I'm like, what did I miss over here? Should have stopped at that light.
You should have seen the psychopath that me and Patrick are on our way to Pat's here, and we're coming down the back road here from the Dunkin' Donuts. And there was this guy in this like Jeep, and he's just like tailing me. So like I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like he's like trying to get around me, but can't because there's cars coming the other way. There's a little viaduct over here where it splits and you can go two ways. The guy literally gets the viaduct and guns it, and just like almost takes our car out, and almost ends up into somebody else's car. Like he would have ended up in somebody's front window, the way he was flying, and somehow corrected. I'm like, where the hell are you going?
Where are you going?
Yeah. They're down the side street.
There was a guy messing with a cop car. Like, this morning, I'm driving, after I got a haircut, which I want to tell you a story that he told me.
Oh, really?
I'm driving, and there was a guy tailing a cop car. Like, on his butt. Well, I was just like, dude, are you, like, just does not care. Like, I don't know if he doesn't think the cops
like, it's like the one thing in your mind, the one thing you know is that you're telling these guys, if they get out and get pissed, you know they have guns. And it's not like, it's not like it's a guessing game like, do I flick this guy off and then he stops the car and gets out and shoots at me? Or do I just let him go? Now it's like, well, those guys, if they stop the car and they get out, you know they got guns on them. Yeah, you know the guys
running them over at that point.
No, he was talking about the cops. Thanks for paying attention. It's okay, don't worry about it. So I was getting a haircut today. And so the morning...
He seemed kind of like out of it, right?
He was he was a little not as cheerful self.
He's like kind of depressed almost.
He came back from vacation with it probably. He's a little sad.
Yeah, no, his vacation probably dragged him through life because he had to stay home with his kids and go to pools and stuff. He didn't seem very happy. I also might have, and we might have. It was me, the guy next to me, and Sandro. Sandro's Barbershop. If you're in Chicago, the best. He's legitimately one of the best. He's now you got to make reservations online. It's a little more expensive, but the dude's top notch. And we're getting a haircut. I'm getting a haircut. And we're talking, and it was a whiny fest. Like we were just all talking smack about like COVID, people, the world, blah blah blah. But then he's like, and I think one of the reasons he was upset was on Saturday. And the reason I'm bringing this up is if you're this type of person, please reevaluate your life. Like seriously. So a guy came in. So this guy is super busy. He has reservations only. It's great because you just pick your time. You go there. You get your haircut. You leave.
Side note: I think when I walked in, that lady that walked in with the two kids, I think she was literally just a walk-in. Like she just walked in off the street and got lucky that.
No, I don't think so.
She said that she walked in.
He'll take walk-ins if there's a gap or if someone cancels.
She said okay. She's like, he asked like he was in the middle of my beer trim. He's like, how'd you hear about this? She's like, oh, we live in the neighborhood. And he's like, oh, I'm really sorry about like you not being able to. He's like, oh no, I just took like a shot on a walk-in and whatnot. So I think she literally walked. Yeah.
But he did say that. And there's a waiting list for walk-ins. So this guy came in on a Saturday. So haircut place. What do you think one of the busiest days are? Friday, Saturday?
Saturday.
They gotta be Saturday.
Saturday afternoon.
Friday afternoon, probably.
Okay, so Saturday afternoon, this guy walks in and says, "I want a haircut." And if you don't book a week or 2 weeks in advance, unfortunately, you're not going to get a spot there. So Sandra's like, "Hey, I apologize." He showed him the app, said, "Hey, you got to sign up, or you can go down the waiting list." And the guy's like, "No," like pissy storms away, goes on Google and rates him a 1 star, and was like, I came for a haircut. I didn't have an appointment. I was turned away. And it's like, that's honest. Like, okay, yeah. Sorry, you don't have an appointment. So you give him a 1 star. And in my head, and like, we're just talking about it. But in my head, I'm like, this person, like, has no common courtesy or anything. Like, hey, you're coming in on a Saturday. You just because you need a haircut and it's busy, you're
you're the only person that needs a haircut. Like, hey, stop everything. I'm
entitled. There's a lot of entitlement.
Yeah.
And maybe this is on PC. It's not, but I think people need to talk about this more. Like, hey, not everything's going to be perfect. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and for people who go on Google.
The world doesn't resolve on you.
Can we just say that out loud? Like, hey, sometimes it's not going to work out. Me and Chris almost didn't get a haircut, and it's nobody else's fault but ours. Yeah,
we got lucky that we went on Sunday, and there was nobody booked for Thursday morning.
That was a real grind in my gear when I heard that. I'm like, this poor guy's trying. And this guy started the business, working his butt off. And 1-star reviews, some people see that, and they just like, okay, he's got a 1-star review. I'm not coming.
Well, it's like, what is it? You go look at like some people who do like accounting like we do, and they have their own like Yelp and like Google reviews and everything. And people get pissy because they don't like the price. They expect you to do it for like, oh, my return's not that hard. It's this easy. You can do it for like.
That's the problem. Yeah,
exactly. It's just like you expect like.
We're gonna be a lot of grind my gears, boys.
There was a good one I read. I was on like a webinar or something. Like I was watching some continuing education crap. So I went to Chai for the first time in like 3 years. And like the one that came up.
Remember when that used to be the thing?
Yeah,
I used to.
But I went there just because like I'd been on Bleacher Report, I'd been on ESPN. There was nothing good on either one, so I'm like, what can I do? So I went to like the first one was like this lady, and she was having a wedding, and she wanted this guy to like 3D print like these like little wagons and put like they were like almost like name placers, and like the guy's like, well, this is like he like kind of explained to her how much it was going to cost, and she's like, can't you just do it for me as a wedding gift? And he was like, well, listen, I'm going to be like, I got 2 printers. You're going to be taking up all my time. It's going to take 10.5 hours. This is what's going to cost. And I'm getting like, he like labeled it out like, this is what it would cost me if I just didn't do it for cost.
Does he know this person?
He knows one of her friends. He doesn't like know her personally. And she's like he's like explaining to her, it's like, I'm giving you a deal. Like I'm literally cutting the cost in half. Like it's $4,000. You're getting it like less than cost. It's going to cost me time and money more to do it. Yeah. And this lady's like, she's like, well, why can't you just, like, that's too much. No. And, like, she wanted it for free. And, like, this guy wasn't even going to the wedding. He wasn't in the wedding. He wasn't invited to the wedding. Just give it to me. And, like, I'm sitting there looking at this.
That's when you just stop texting those people.
No, but then, like, he's like, but he was just trying to be professional, very nice. Yeah. He's like, very nice. And she went off the deep end. It's like, you're an asshole. You shouldn't be trying. You're trying to rip me off. You're here wedding. You're taking advantage of me. Like, he, like, explained all this stuff out. And then, like, she's like, keep ripping into him. He's like, you know what? Forget this. You know what? If you want this done, it's going to cost you the $8,000 now. Like, he literally's like, I tried giving you a deal. You didn't want to take it. $8,000. That's my price now. I was just like,
you're going to $9,000 now, baby.
What's that? The Rick and Morty skit from the say it again. 10 weeks. What? A year and a half.
Say another word. I'll hold you in contempt. Suck my dick. A day. Suck my dick again. A year.
Real passionate.
Okay, good.
Fuck you. Your mama. 10 years.
10 years. Wow, that escalated.
That's good. Real quick. Shit.
Wait. Okay. So what is that? So, oh my god. If you're a fan of the Saturday Night Pregame and you're a fan of Rick and Morty, this is something that if you're having a rough day,
that's good,
and you want to go write a 1-star review, do this instead. Go look up
the Rick and Morty court case. Something about like somebody versus like the state of Alabama. I think it's Alabama.
Cool.
Why would Atlanta be? Atlanta's not a state, sir.
I think it was a state. I know Atlanta's not a state.
Are you sure? I don't know. You're kind of confused. Got that glazed over look on your face right now.
It's a pure beer. It hits you hard.
Okay. So, do we want to go? We got a few routes we can go.
This is kangaroo court, sir.
This is kangaroo court. We gotta get the grind gears out of the way. I got a few things.
Well, doesn't Pat Lynch have one?
We'll get to it at the end.
Now that we're past 15 minutes, I can get to it. Yeah.
Pat Lynch likes to rain on my happy parades with a good grind gear in the middle. Do we want to talk about me and Chris want to talk about the Netflix show, The Heist?
I'm going to take a nap. You guys call when it's over?
The Pappy, it was only funny.
I am Sheriff Buford T. Justice.
So,
that Sheriff.
Pat, we'll give you a little insight into it. So we watched episode 1 of The Heist on Netflix, the Pappy Gate in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
In Kentucky.
Frankfort, Kentucky. That's where all the good ones are.
Where Buffalo Trace, Wild Turkey,
and then
there's one other one.
There is one other one. I can't think of who it is.
It's not. What's the?
It's not Jack Daniels.
No, that's
Tennessee.
Yeah,
it's Lynchburg,
Tennessee. Because that's a great Jason Aldean song. Wait, what is the other one? It's Wild Turkey, Buffalo Trace, and there's one more.
Jack Daniels.
No, I'm just saying.
Jim Beam.
Still got that glazed over look from the Atlanta thing.
Jim Beam?
I don't know if Jim Beam's from Frankfurt.
It might be. Okay, we'll figure that out. We're gonna
Google it right now for you.
But so
we're gonna hit the NBA trade machine up.
They start talking to this guy, and it starts off with this young man who's in this softball league, and he's loving life. He's a warehouse worker everybody works at a whiskey distillery in Frankfort, Tennessee.
Or Woodford Reserve.
So everybody works at a whiskey distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. And their big pastime is softball. So they play softball and drink whiskey, Pat. And this is before bourbon was a thing.
Yeah.
So they were just taking Pappy Van Winkle bottles home.
Yeah, it was customary for people just to take liquor home.
Like you need a bottle for the weekend. Take a bottle. It's not a big deal. Like at Coors Light,
they would drink.
You had an allotment of like one case. You have like or Miller Lite. You have like an allotment of a case a week or so or a day. Like you can take. And
still nobody takes
it. Me and Chris would be. Let's like.
Oh, if I was at Miller Coors, I'd 6-pack Coors Light.
Is it Miller Coors? What's the other one? Coors.
Molson.
Yeah, who's that?
Coors Molson owns Miller Coors.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Canada owns Miller Lite.
They like the Rocky Mountains.
They do.
That's a big like a monopoly. Those beer companies. There's like 3 big beer companies.
Yeah. Well, the InBev is the giant one. They own everything.
What happened to the monopolies, Pat? What happened? It's not supposed to be like that.
This is Donald Trump America.
Well, they're like in different continents. So.
Okay.
InBev is in Germany.
It works. Got it.
That one's in Canada, so the U.S. really can't regulate those two that much. So,
facto. So we go back to our story. And so these guys are living life, having a good time. He meets this lady. They get married. They have a couple kids. The wife says, "You're done with softball." So this man's life becomes...
So he starts grinding his gears on a podcast about how he can't play softball anymore.
Yes. Hates his life.
Yeah,
hates his life. Because it's work, kids, sleep, work. Work
and home.
Sleep.
Work and home.
Well, this sounds like a personal choice so far.
Yes. Hating his life. Loves his kids. Loves his wife. Wants to play softball. Wife won't let him.
Just wants one hobby.
One hobby.
Can't have it.
Man would like a hobby. But his wife...
It's like that one time we were at Frank's wedding, and that guy wants the mashed potatoes, and his lady friend wouldn't let him have the mashed potatoes. He just wanted mashed potatoes.
Now it's his wife.
Wow.
Poor decision making on his part.
Yeah, no argument there.
But I feel like he's gotten some more mashed potatoes because...
Get married, and he's like, now what?
Yes.
Potatoes.
Okay. So then this guy, I don't know. I'm trying to think. How did he change from softball? Oh, he had a buddy come over.
Buddy come over, and they were trying whiskey.
Yes, and he loved the Pappy. Gave him $1,000 for each two bottles.
The guy literally just gave him the 2 bottles. Like, here, I don't want to get into this. He had 2 bottles of Pappy. Gave it to him.
Does this guy work for Buffalo Trace?
Yes. Yep. And so then the guy came back the next day with like a $1,000 wad of cash. Just threw it on the table and gave it to him. He's like, if this guy ever wants, if you ever get more, if you ever get any more, here's his number.
You're distracted by the footsie going on under here.
Yeah, he's kicking.
I said you?
Yeah.
I thought it was this dumb.
No, you're kicking the.
I was like trying to get some leg in from here. So we have a small table. Me and Chris are both 6 foot and above.
It's not a small table. You two are just too tall.
Okay, we got long legs here, and I'm trying to get a little bit of leg room. But so you're right. Yeah. So then he's like, "Wow, I'm making some money."
Yeah.
And he also liked that feeling of like, I got a guy
helping people out and stuff like that.
Somebody saying I got a guy, which I think was kind of a crock of crap. He liked the money. He was making money.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll tell you what the crock of crap is when we get in a second when you get finished with the story.
The Who You Crapping segment here now?
Yeah. Who you crapping? 1,000%.
Well, if you watch this first episode, there's one moment where there's a real who you crapping this moment.
But no, seriously, this guy was like, he was all about like, I like being the guy people I could, and so they went from like, grabbing a couple bottles, Pat, to taking fucking barrels.
I mean, just loading up
are these barrels like finished barrels?
Yes. They're like full
wild turkey.
They don't know what's in, what's in it because they black it out, but like they're taking
So they're
barrels.
selling wild turkey as Pappy.
Yeah.
But, and then he's got this crackhead friend who steals a truckload, like,
of Eagle Rare 10-year whiskey.
So this is why I can't find these goddamn whiskeys?
Oh, yeah.
No. What happened was like, Anthony Bourdain came on. I was like, Pappy Van Winkle's great, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I got to follow his fucking rules." And
justify they're drinking like Pappy, like it's like
the internship they're drinking. That was their thing to go. But so they don't get caught. Somebody steals like 19 bottles,
195 bottles, or something, like 200 bottles.
Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. It sounds like.
Don't get me started. We're getting there. So this 200 bottles of Pappy Van Winkle go missing, and the cop now the county sheriff
Buford T. Justice
is that really his name?
No, but he looks like Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, okay. But this guy loved the cameras.
Diabetes guy?
Huh?
Diabetes guy?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the mustache.
No mustache.
No mustache.
I envision this guy looking like that guy.
This guy loved a camera probably as much as Jackie Gleason.
He likes the camera as much as I like Coors Light.
Yeah. Wow. And so this guy's like, I got to figure this out. So you bet 195 bottles go. They put a $10,000 reward up. You say to yourself, I've made a good amount of money on this. Call it a day. This dum-dum's like, I'm never getting caught. Doesn't stop. It's still continuing to steal barrels of wild turkey.
So is he just like walking? Is he rolling it out of the house?
Onto a pickup.
Yeah, and the last scene,
no cameras in this
the last scene is him tipping off a security guard with him coming out with like 12 barrels of.
And this is like 2012, right?
13.
You're right. Did they not have cameras? Yeah. Like, what is going on here?
Did they not have cameras in Kentucky? Like what?
This is ridiculous. So that's where it kind of ended. And this guy, and they show his family. This dude's buying boxes of like toys.
For this?
Not yet. We don't know where it's going to go.
We don't know what happened.
Oh, there's multiple episodes.
Yeah,
there's 2 episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
So next
so I can watch this one and catch up.
Yes, yeah. Dude, but it's also it's really interesting because like you can kind of tell like how crime happens. Like you get a little taste, a little more taste.
Yeah, it's like
now you're some whiskey collaborate that everybody's like, I got a guy. So now you got to fill all these orders.
Yeah, and he's feeling great. Like I'm this guy. Everybody needs something from me. Like and all this weird shit.
And where it starts is like where you're allowed it. Like they're thinking like, all right, this guy can have a bottle or two, and so it's easy. You could do it. And instead,
the other problem is like they were given they tried. There was no issue with it when they were first doing it because
you couldn't sell it.
Yeah,
you couldn't sell it. Pappy used to be dust on a bottle.
Yeah, because nobody was selling 15-year bourbon, and then one person comes out with it and now it's selling for like $1,000 a bottle.
Yeah.
So the real moment, the who's your crapping moment is
who you crapping.
I'm sitting there watching this episode, and they're like. They asked the guy, and he's like, nah, I had nothing to do with the missing Pappy bottles, like 200 missing Pappy bottles. And then they just keep the camera on him. He's like twitching, like looking away, like doing all this weird stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that motherfucker did it. You can end it right now. Here's the guy who stole 200 bottles.
I love his one buddy who's got 3 empty, High Life cans sitting next to him the whole time. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, you're not giving off, like, the vibes. Like, you're not some shady whiskey stealer.
Come on, it's a champagne of beer. It's classy.
Douche on.
Nah, I had nothing to do with stealing those bottles. And then you just, like, keep the camera on him. Like, he doesn't realize the camera's still on him. Like...
So it's like the guy, the Jinx guy, who's like, yeah, of course I killed them all.
Yeah. The other part of it was they kind of talk about his softball career and how they roided up for... Just straight up.
Is it 12 or 16 inch?
12.
No, 16. They were hands.
Oh, was it? Because every time they made sound like when they hit the ball, it sounded like they were hitting.
Bad
but they didn't have gloves on.
Bad speed is not important in softball.
I mean, you got to be right because they were trying to hit people with the softball, and they were like aiming for nuts. Yes. I was like,
but they were like doing steroids and stuff for softball.
Yeah.
But this guy he
played for the love of the game, yes, Peter.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. So this guy definitely
didn't want to hit it 500 feet. He wanted to hit it 550 feet.
Yes.
Exact quote from that show.
But that's what I'm saying. So these guys it's all about vanity for them. Like, you could have stopped. You made a ton of money. Call it a day. But you just can't stop when you're...
You know what my other favorite thing is? Is like he's introducing all his friends. And he's like, this guy, Sean. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. I'm not gay, but he's a good-looking guy. And it's like... Why do you have to say that? Yeah, it's like Richard Jewell, and you're like, he's like his whole entire purpose, like he's gonna get indicted for.
Did you ever see that movie?
I saw like a documentary on it.
Yeah, the movie's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the movie's a little probably like Chris is saying. It's probably like hopped up for Hollywood, but like one part when he's in
the funniest part is like
because they thought he was they
that poor guy got his life ruined.
Yeah, but he literally went into the meeting. He was like, I just want you guys to know that I'm not gay.
Yeah,
and that's. Like, he's like, they think I'm gay. He's like, dude, they think you were the guy who do the bomb.
No, I don't think I'm gay, man. They think I'm gay.
He's talking about being gay.
This is the real problem with this thing. It's totally okay. It's 1996, man. You're fine. No, it is not. They need to know. I'm a bomber, not gay. Your priorities are not good here, man. Your priorities are not good here.
You're all over the place here.
Richard.
Are you afraid that you're going to go to jail? Is that the problem here?
That's a good call. But I do recommend it. I think that the documentary on this one's a little weird. Like, it's kind of all over the place. Like, I really think you could have focused on...
I don't know. They kind of, like, played up. I don't know what... Like,
it was weird to me. Like, it wasn't very... Well, like, we don't know how they were taking... Like, they were just walking out with bottles, like... Or...
They show a reenactment of them breaking into a gift shop and taking display bottles.
And then how is your fingerprints not everywhere?
Yeah, how is there no camera? Cameras? Yeah, how is there no camera in the display shop that they can be like, or how does nobody see that like 25 or like 4 bottles of whiskey are gone the day before?
Chris, this is Kentucky in 2012, man. They didn't get cameras till 15. Actually, they didn't have color TV till 13.
It's actually like 2005 when they were doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Even worse. They were back in the Stone Age, basically. They had to get up to walk across the TV to change the channel.
I'm interested to see where it goes though, like how they actually got caught, because the end of it is they stole a crap ton of, like, a lot of Pappy. Like, not 200 bottles, like...
All the Pappy?
Yeah, all the Pappy.
All the Pappy Pepsi.
So I wonder if you could get a copy or, like, a bottle of one of those stolen Pappies. Like, if they could, tie it, and if that's
probably can. They usually know where... They usually, like, something on there indicates where it was. Like, bottle, what barrel, or whatever it was in.
This brings me to a kind of a
but it wasn't bottled, you said, or they did sell bottles. They sell barrels.
Oh, no. They had cases of bottles. No. I don't know what they did with the barrels. I think they used to sell the barrels wholesale for like $5,000, and then because then people were like, "I'm a fucking a barrel of whiskey." That was like a thing. Like he brought a barrel of whiskey to softball games. Like it's so weird. Like,
sounds like these are some lit softball games. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a couple glasses of Pappy, I'm not playing softball. I can tell you that right now.
No, and then first of all, I'm going to enjoy some Pappy.
I mean, that reenactment where they like uncorked the one barrel and they were just putting cuts under it after a softball game.
Where we like methodically measure out whiskey.
Yeah, like we're like literally like that with a keg. Like, yeah, fill it up, let it overflow. There, we're doing that with whiskey. It's like,
No, you're not gonna feel so good with that. Funny part is, so Lauren is watching some like housewife show. Like it's some like Netflix thing about like these housewives who are like bank robbers or some shenanigans. I don't know. But she keeps talking about wanting to try bourbon. And I'm like, come on over. We have all the bourbon.
Laura wants to try bourbon?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm like, we have all the bourbon. She doesn't like shots. Like, she doesn't understand that, like, having a classical whiskey. She's like, it looks so cool on TV. I'm like, but it's...
Hey, I'm a dragon.
I'm like, come over.
She might like the banana one.
Yeah. No, I told her. She could come. She's like, I want to try Pappy. I'm like, come on over. We got 2 bottles of it.
Yeah, Chris. Break your bottle out.
I will, not for you.
Lauren will take one sip of it, and I'll be like a vulture there right afterwards.
Pat passes outside the fence. Oh, hey, Lauren, you don't want any more? Come on.
Nah, you had enough.
I think I would have mine because I like mine with a little bit of ice, like a good amount of ice.
What a sacrilegious thing to say.
No.
Happy.
Ask any distillery. This is what I love because whiskey ginger. It's a podcast.
Supposed to drop a little bit of water in it.
No. Ask any whiskey distiller how you're supposed to have your whiskey. You know what they say? How do you like your whiskey? How do you like your whiskey? That's how you're supposed to have your whiskey. There's no water, ice cubes, no whiskey. That's all bullshit.
We'll give you half a glass of water. We'll put a little dab in it, and then there you go.
No, I like a full flavored. I like my good shot of it. Well, and so I'm going to bring this back to a few weird. I got 2 stories I want to tell you guys about, and one, you guys are gonna hate me because you're probably tired of these stories. But I thought one of these is pretty really interesting. The other one's kind of cool too. Is I've kind of gone back to watching World War II veterans.
Back on this one again.
Oh boy!
Back on, and so this one's really quick. One guy was a Easy Company. I don't know. Did you ever watch the HBO documentary of Easy Company? I definitely recommend that one if you ever get some time. But Easy Company was like one of the toughest, blah, blah, blah. And they were at the Eagle Nest. And they were talking to this one guy who was and that's Eagle's Nest was Hitler's, like, fortified, whatever. And they go into his liquor room. And he had all the liquor in the world.
Yeah, all happy in the world?
He had all the liquor in the world. And he had 2 whiskey bottles that said, for Hitler only. And he took both of them, gave one to his commanding officer. He took one home. And when his son got bar mitzvahed, they drank that bottle, him and his soldier buddies. Like, he didn't touch it until then. And then they just threw out the bottle. And, like, a couple of years ago, they asked the guy, like, hey, do you have that bottle? And he's like, no. And he's like, how much? And then, so they asked him, well, how much do you think that bottle would be worth today? He's like, I don't know. It was a glass bottle of, like, what is it to recycle, 5 cents? They're like, no. The other bottle sold for, like, a couple $100,000. And he was like, so he was so pissed.
Hitler fucks me again.
But I did really want to tell you about this one guy who I thought was insanely interested. His name is Vincent Speranza, and I'm not saying his last name right, but okay.
I don't know if you said his first name right.
Vincent.
I said Vincent.
Vincent. Okay. So I honestly recommend if listen, you're bored, you're on this guy's such a good speaker and interesting storyteller. And he was in World War II, paratrooper. He was 16 years old when Roosevelt declared that they were going to go to war. And his dad, he was the older brother. He was 16. His brother was 12 or 14. And his youngest brother was 10. His dad, like, you guys got to go to war right now. And he's like,
14 and 10, nice.
And his dad,
the depression, you guys are costing too much money. Get your ass out the house.
And the reason is because his father came from Italy with this guy's grandfather. And his grandfather only wanted to come to America for 5 years to make some money, go back and buy some land in Italy. And so they did their 5 years, made a bunch of money, because America's unbelievable. When in those days, like, you could come here and if you had a working ethic, you could make money. They make their money and they're going back they're all on the boat to go back to Italy. So this guy's father and his father's younger brother jump off at the last minute and stay 15 and 13, stay in America. Because they did not want to go back to Italy because they thought they had a better chance in the United States. So when Japan bombed America, his father's like, you go there and you fight them right now. And because he knew that he was too old to fight. And so the government was not, which is weird, like, it was kind of crazy to me. The government was like, no. Like, you have to be 18. Like, they saw these kids and like, go home. And so he came back when he was 18 years old, went through the paratrooper stuff. Like, his story is unbelievable. And I won't go into his whole life, but I thought this one story was kind of really cool. So he's in Boston. In Boston, Germany had beaten us in Sweden. And we're coming up from France. And Germany's goal was to get...
So you mean Switzerland?
Yes.
Because Sweden's up by Norway and Finland.
Okay, I'm an idiot, so I don't know where exactly. But we had Boston. Yes, sorry. I think it is Norway. I think you're right. Like Norway, that area. So we had gotten beaten. So Switzerland. I don't know if it is Switzerland.
Whatever. By Italy.
Why don't you listen to the episode?
Wait, is Norway by Switzerland?
No.
What is Norway by?
Finland. Norway's by Sweden and Finland.
Because I think that's where it's at.
Those are the ones that are above, like Denmark and above Germany.
Yes, and I believe, and we paratrooped into there, and we got cut off, and they got slaughtered.
Because when you say France is closer to Switzerland.
Which, yes, but I'm saying, so we're coming up, we won, we got in Normandy, we won France, we're working our way up. And the hope was to come from Sweden and Norway down and meet there on top. But we got beat up there. We got beat up in Norway and Sweden. Okay. And Germany wants to wants to cut us in half and get to our port where we're landing. So that's a long story. So Ballstone that's the meeting place between Germany and the United States. This is what's going to change the war. Yes, which way, whatever way. So he's in that fight. And I won't go into the whole fighting story, but so
he goes all Rambo on there.
No, but so he gets like one day reprieve because he's a machine gunner and his assistant machine gunner gets hit, and so he goes and visits him in
hospice.
No, in a church.
What does an assistant machine gunner do?
Well, the feeds the gunner, and so he had gotten hit. So he's in the bottom of this church where the United States has all their injured soldiers. So he comes in and sees them, and this guy's like very like, I'm going to be back in 2 days. Don't worry about it. And he was like, this dude looks like he's half dead. Like, he's not going to make it.
He's like, get your ass back out there, win one for the Gipper, baby.
I'd be like, I'm going back to the U.S. I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I'm going to Italy, damn it. I'm going back to
So many of these guys were like, no, I'm gonna die out here or not go. But whatever. It's crazy. So he's like, well, and he's leaving. He's like, okay, well, I hope you are going to be back. Like, pats him on the head. He's like, as he's walking out, he's like, well, hey, listen, is there anything I can do for you before I leave? And the guy looks at him, knowing he's probably going to die soon. He's like, get me one last beer. And the dude's like, what are you talking? Like, this city that they're in is shelled out. Like, there's nothing. Like, it's the only thing that stood up was this church because it was like complete cement. Everything else is shelled out. And he's like, what the hell are you going to get? Why am I going to get a beer? We're in the middle of a war. He's like, please. So this guy goes to the first tavern. Nothing. Just glass everywhere. Nothing in there. Guy goes to the second tavern. And there's like this, it's not as beat up. So he goes to the beer tap, pulls it, beer comes out. He's like, oh shit. So he's looking around for like a jug or something. Like, oh, awesome. I'll get him some jugs. Nothing. It's crap. So he's got his helmet on. So this is the other weird kind of crazy thing about the helmet. I didn't know. When they're in the holes the ditches that they dig, the foxhole, they use the helmet as a latrine.
Yes.
Did not know that at all. So they would use the washroom, throw it out, swish a little bit of smell in there, and it was all good. So, dude.
I mean, when you're in the middle of war, that seems like the least of your concerns.
No, you know what? You're 1,000%. You know what, Pat? That's on me. You're 1,000%. You're 1,000% right. So, dude pours.
Do I want crap on my head or do I want to die from getting shot by the enemy? I'll put crap on my head.
You know what? Chris didn't think about it that way at all. That's 1,000% right. So guy fills up his helmet with beer.
So crap flavored beer.
Yeah, yes, brings it up back to his buddy who's
like guy's like this beer shit.
It's like
pour and then he takes the helmet and just like ever so gently bird feeding this dude. What do they call that? Baby bird. Baby birding him a little bit of beer. And the guy next to him's like, can I get a little bit? Little bit. Fills up because everybody who's like dying.
Little nuggets are floating around.
Yeah.
Chewy.
Yes. Give everybody a little bit of the taste. And then so he's leaving. He's like, all right, guys, I'm happy you guys, like, I'm going to go. I got to get back to the front of the line. And he's like, and they're like, Vince, just one more. Just come on, please. He's like, are you guys serious? Seriously? So he's like, all right, fine, whatever. Runs back, fills up the beer, fills up his helmet again, comes back in, and the commanding officer of this hospital stops him. He's like, what the hell are you doing? These guys have like half the guys you fed beer don't have intestines. I should shoot you. And he's like, get out of here. And he's like, put your helmet on now and get out of here. This is in the dead of winter. Dude puts his helmet on, beer flushes all over him, and he runs to the front line, thinking, thank God I didn't get shot by this because that's how it was. He would have shot him. So, long story, after the end of the war, guy survives. He goes back home. And a lot of people, like, the big talk was, like, PTSD, but they didn't call it that. They called it shell shock. And he not convinced himself, but he told himself, he looked in the mirror and he said, I'm not going to think about World War II ever again. Like, it's over. It's in the back of my brain. I'm not going to think about as a machine gunner cutting people in half. Like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to have a great life. So he had a great life up until he was 85 years old, when his wife, unfortunately, died of Alzheimer's. And he's like, I'm 85 years old. I'm going to die soon. Whatever. And then he's like, you know what? And then he was in a store, heard this old lady who had a French accent, and he asked her about it. He's like, no, I'm from Belgium. And they kind of talked a little bit, and she's like, you should go over back there. They have a beautiful cemetery for all the U.S. soldiers who died there. And he's like, you know what? I'm about to die. Might as well go there and pay my respects. Goes back over there with his daughter, who was like, this 84-year-old man is going to die in Belgium because he looked like garbage. And he gets over to Belgium and goes to one of the World War II museums because his daughter forced him to go to the World War II museum. Some guy sees him and was like just talking to him, and he's like, what are you here for? He's like, oh, I was kind of here like 7 years ago, fighting a war, no big deal. They're like, what's your name? And tells him his name. He's like, I can show you exactly where you were standing in Boston in war, like where your foxhole was. He's like, BS. They bring him out there. They show like the whole yada yada yada, and he just starts breaking down, crying. Like, this is insane that somebody knows where I was. They come back, and he felt so bad for crying, like just like kind of rude, like because they were just like, hey, he's older, let's just take him back. He felt really bad. He's like, let me buy you lunch. They go to lunch. He's like, I want 3 of your finest bottles of wine. They start shooting. The two guys that he was with were World War war like veterans. They start talking, and they're shooting stories back and forth as soldiers would do. Like, hey, I did this. Hey, I did this. He tells a story about bringing the beer to these poor people who are sick, and they're like, no way are you that guy. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes to a waitress, hey, give me 4 paratrooper beers. They bring out 4 paratrooper beers. You get a beer, and you get your World War II helmet size that you drink it out of. He had this guy from 60 years, 65 years, had no idea. Like, just never talked. They didn't think this story was real. He was a legend. Like, a legend in Europe. This beer is legendary in Europe, and he had no idea.
Really? Wow.
Now, so this guy from 85 years old, he says he's a playboy. Like, not like a playboy, like he's like, but he's
just railing down the ladies in Europe right now.
No, going on a bang.
He's a jet setter. Like, he's going around doing, like, he wrote a book, just kind of like telling his life and telling that story.
He's the Hugh Hefner right now.
And I mean, if you're not, like, inspired by that, like this.
That's pretty nuts.
The best part of it, though, is he goes to the guy who's bringing him the beer. He's like, who makes this beer? And they're like, oh, this company. He calls the company. He's like, hey, you're serving my beer. Like, should I be getting a cut? And they hung up on him. But if you look it up, Paratrooper beer, you'll see a picture of Vince and the little helmet and the beer that you get. And I'm going to definitely try to get us beers.
Are they going to, is he going to come serve them and like baby bird it to me?
I got that, Chris, don't worry. I got you.
I know it was a long story, but I was so...
That's pretty gnarly. I'm not going to lie.
That's so interesting.
I mean, joking is that here, someone's got to get a long story.
I could tell I was looking at fans like, come on. I thought it was super interesting.
It is interesting. I was trying to figure out where I was going with this.
Yeah. And then, this guy had no idea. And now he talks to, he's talking to, you could see there's a bunch of, actual, in 94-year-old man, this dude is spry as shit. Like, if
94 now.
If you are,
I'm gonna die soon at 85. I'm 94 now.
He's got a reason to live, Chris. He's got a reason to live.
If you're this spry at 94 years old, you are.
Did he get a vaccination?
Oh yeah.
Is he protected?
Hopefully. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if you guys read recently the vaccination rate after 4 months. I think it's down to 60% in the 60s. I could be wrong. Maybe 68% effective.
I think it depends on the strain.
That's true. But I think as it goes on, it gets less and less, and it's like, well, we're gonna all have to get this booster shot now, and then there's gonna be another booster shot.
Well, I mean, you still get shots of shots for like tetanus and shit, right?
Yeah,
things like that.
Every 5 years they get or something for that.
I got my tetanus shot. I think it's like 10 years because I got mine last time I saw the doctor. It was 10 years out.
I get it.
It'll be all right, Chris. Don't worry.
I already got mine.
Where are we at time-wise, Pat?
We're at 57 minutes and 18 seconds.
Ooh! Do you guys want to go into? Do you want to talk about some? I mean, sports stuff. It's not really. I mean, I'm getting my butt kicked. I was telling you.
The Blackhawks are fucking nuts.
How about the NBA? How shitty is the NBA these days? NBA is probably the worst fucking sport. There are literally 2 fucking teams that can win next
year. Can I tell you something? When you sent that thing, I thought it was Russell Wilson, and I was like,
why would Russell Wilson be traded from the Washington?
I was like, how is this working?
To the Lakers.
I thought it was like 2 texts. So Pat texts what Russell Westbrook's going to LA, and I've already I've heard that thing, but I thought it was first part was Russell Wilson's traded, and then they were talking about the Lakers getting an all-star point guard, and I was like, why are these together?
They're crossing sports here? Damn.
Yeah.
He's had too much CTEs. He's going to shoot the hoop now.
Yeah. No. I get what you're saying.
I mean, there are literally 2 teams that can win the championship. Maybe 3. If Golden State Thompson comes healthy, maybe they have a chance, right? Who else? Who's beating the Brooklyn in the East if they stay healthy?
No, absolutely not.
And who's beating the Lakers in the West?
No, you're 1,000% right.
It's in this garbage. It's 28 teams that have 0 chance, pretty much, or middle school chances at best.
But that's why this year's NBA Finals were so fun.
That's Giannis. I would take whatever you want to bet for him not repeating next year.
Oh yeah,
take that. Whatever that bet is. Heartbeat.
I wouldn't mind seeing Westbrook getting a championship because I feel like he's gotten ragged between.
Harden. Chris Paul deserved one this year, and he didn't get it.
Why?
That's because Giannis was like, not today.
I was happy with Giannis. I would have been happy with it. Yeah.
I'm just thinking the NBA is it's not a competitive league.
No, at all.
If you have a team in Orlando, if you're in Oklahoma City, if you're in Utah, you're never winning a championship again. The way the NBA is right now.
Yeah, Sacramento.
The way the NBA is right now, I mean, if you're not a major market, you have 0 chance.
The Bulls you have to draft very well.
Yeah, you have to draft 3. At least Chicago's a major market. You have a chance to get somebody.
The problem is you got to draft really well and then keep those guys. Because you only get them for 5 years.
And you can't draft 1. You have to draft 3.
Yeah.
And then get it done in 3 years.
A team like the Bulls or the Knicks, if they got a star and they could get other stars to go with them.
But I mean, the Knicks, you've seen the Knicks. They're always saying the Knicks have all this great cap space.
Well, they're going to sign
shit. Well, but they're going to sign these 2. They got max contracts. They got 2 spots. They're going to get these people. Nobody wants to play for the fucking Knicks. Nobody does.
Everybody wants to play for Tom Thibodeau, baby.
I don't understand.
They love practice. All day, every day.
I don't know why they want to play for the goddamn Lakers. I mean, that fucking tax rate out there is fucking outrageous.
I'm just sick of the NBA having. It's not a competitive league. It's not interesting. Like there's nothing interesting about it. At least in football, if you can get a quarterback.
It was refreshing last year when Giannis was like, "Screw it, I'm staying in Milwaukee. I'm signing the max deal."
And in 2 years, he's gonna be requested to trade somewhere else too.
Yeah, you know it. You know it is. But I mean, like, it's unfortunate because like.
These contracts mean nothing. They want to trade, and the team's like, yeah,
no, they're like
4 first-round picks and 8 guys I've never heard of. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Play for the team.
I'll trade you, but I want these demands met, and like nobody.
It's such garbage. I'm so sick of it. At least the NFL, people teams that can come out of nowhere and be good. In any market, pretty much, you can get a Jacksonville. They got Lawrence is the real deal. And they can build a team around him. They can win a championship. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, and it's not impossible for them not to be at least a decent playoff team either.
Yeah, I mean, and even hockey, you get a little more balance there.
You got
baseball starting to get this way, like NBA too, like where teams are only like certain teams are, But
I feel like baseball
somehow Tampa Bay keeps winning. God bless them.
They know how to draft, but I mean, like I feel like certain teams in like baseball, they're using their like the Yankees and Dodgers. They're just they don't have a problem paying out the tax and everything like that. And whatnot, but I mean, yeah, it's just. I think baseball, like you could still get one of those surprise teams.
Is Baltimore ever going to be good again in baseball? Probably not.
Maybe it depends.
I guess if you look at baseball, like what Kansas City won a few years ago, like there's still a little bit of balance there.
But I feel like with the MLB, like there's more like each team's now like got like that thing where they put more priority into their own prospects, their own homegrown talent instead of trying to go out and sign free agents and try to trade for people.
But the NBA is just garbage.
Yeah, because I think with the MLB is you have so much control up until they're 30, and then you have
so much control once you get them up into the major leagues. It doesn't.
Yes, I'm saying. Yeah. So, and then when they get to free agency, there's so much in their in the 30s that like.
But in the NBA, everybody requests a trade. It's like no problem, done. They give it to you.
But
that's the only sport where you really get to dictate where you want to go.
The only thing you can be the problem is you want players. The talent to have the control. I feel like because I get that it sucks because it's all super teams.
So what happens if 96 if Barkley, Jordan, and Olajuwon said let's play together? They're not gonna lose a game.
But you want
fair enough.
The problem is how do you change it? Like if the guys want to play with friends and want to play with super teams, unfortunately it sucks for the
do what the MLB does and you just fucking.
It's the cap. It's the cap. The cap. They got to reduce the cap.
You
can't have 3. So you can't have 3 max deals in your team.
You do what MLB does, and you ice everybody out, and you
go sign free agents. I'm so because you know what these owners make so much.
You also
money.
got to cut the bullshit out about where people can get a buyout and then go sign for like $100,000 and Blake Griffin be on your team for half the season.
I guess there are some things you could do to make it a little bit more fair.
I mean, the competitive balance in the NBA is. I mean, they're gonna have. You can't tell me that it's not gonna hurt the league in the future. Like having like 3 or 4 teams that only win.
I mean, and I think I could. This is an S&P fact, but I believe NBA viewership is down because it's not fun to watch.
I mean, how many times do you want to see LeBron?
You don't want to see an All-Star game.
Yeah, no.
And then also, I mean, it would be nice if we could get a little defense.
I would see what this year's rating were. This is one of the more interesting years.
Yeah,
like teams that I bet you if you took what was Phoenix's? They were like 2001 to win the NBA championship at the end of the year.
I mean, I watched it
right here. I've thought about it, but the only thing I'm not a fan of the owners. So my issue is, as a fan, I want to see the competitiveness. I know I want to see that control, like the UFC. The reason the UFC works so well is because they control everything. The problem is,
I want them
the
to
fighters get screwed
on the shorts.
The fighters get screwed.
The fighters can also. I mean, they technically can go somewhere else, right?
But yeah, well, you're right. You're 1,000% right.
I mean, if Khabib signed with Bellator next week or something for a huge amount of money, more people are watching Bellator then, right?
Exactly. But the problem is there's the money's not there. So you in the NBA, you have the talent, and you get to dictate where you want to do.
I'm not saying the owners, but I'm saying like if you're an owner who owns it, I mean, owners make a ton of money, but like
I'm definitely not saying this right, but
I'm
like
about the fans.
But that's the issue.
If you're a fan of Oklahoma City,
but
and you've had Durant and Westbrook and Harden leave your team because they don't want to play in Oklahoma City.
But you got to think about it in the same route as if you're Kevin Durant and you're the best player, probably second. I truly think he's better than LeBron. And how do you tell me where I can play?
Why couldn't him and Westbrook win a championship?
But it's up to him though. But like he, as the best talent, he should be able to choose.
They couldn't win one because of the super teams. I guess
absolutely. But I'm saying is, as one of the best players, he should be able to choose where he wants to go. He shouldn't.
That's
be
what free agency's for. You signed a 7-year contract with a team.
Well, I think he did leave to go to.
Yeah, he did.
But that's what I'm saying.
But all these
so it sucks as a fan, and if you're a fan of Oakland, but that's his right.
So Giannis in tears when he said, "I want out of Milwaukee."
That's his right. Like I hate it.
Well, he signed a 6-year deal to play for Milwaukee,
5 years,
and a max contract. He's getting paid as much money as you can pay anywhere else.
And in the NFL, you could do that.
They don't trade you in the NFL,
but you can do it.
But they don't trade your ass in the NFL.
You can sit and they don't have to trade you in the NBA either.
But they do every time they do.
That's what I'm saying, Pat. So it's a little different. I get what you're saying as a fan, but you can't look at it as a fan.
It's garbage that every time a guy requests a trade, they give it to him. Everything.
You have to look at it.
Basically, when you sign a contract, it means
you're
nothing.
looking at it as a fan, and they're looking at it as a business. Because the NBA can cut you at any point and say bye bye.
The NFL cuts you and say bye bye. The NBA's are guaranteed contracts.
But look at Blake Griffin; he's gone.
He got all his money in Detroit and wherever he was playing.
He got bought. He got bought out for that amount.
I'm saying the NBA players are protected more. They're signing these max contracts to play.
Yeah, the NFL really sucks in terms of that.
But I'm also, but if you're Blake Griffin, you're 30-something years old, you're on your way out, and or let's say Giannis, you're in Milwaukee, they didn't win it this year. Now you're James Harden sitting in Houston, and you've gotten everything you wanted, but you can't get it done. Are you just going to sit there and wait?
But you signed that contract. You shouldn't sign the contract then.
No, but that's.
Ask Scottie Pippen if he wants to sign that contract.
I didn't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with the players per se asking for said trade. Like, hey, you know what? I don't want to play here. You know, this team's going to be garbage.
Yep.
And
Houston say, no, you have to play my team. I'm going to pay you either way, so you have to play my team.
But Houston, I think if you're like a team and you're like, hey, guess what? You know what? We'll work on getting a trade. We want to do a trade that works for us, that also works for you, but you're still going to play until we get this trade.
Which he did.
He did, but at first he was.
But he played.
No, but he did.
Give me one of these teams that did the trade these guys away that's doing well for it.
Well, Houston got some good draft picks, and they're
fucking Oklahoma City's fucking.
Look at Washington got Russell Westbrook, killed it.
And they got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
But that's because they don't have 97 players.
They have Brandon Beal.
What do you want me? I don't know what do you want the end game to be then? What's the end game to be?
I do not want every time they sign a max contract that you get traded a year into it.
But then so then what's the
then they play where they sign the contract.
But so
it's not financially hurting the players.
So a player should not have the ability to
demand a trade.
Yes, goddammit, they should go back to the 70s MLB and not have free agency.
No free agency.
I'm just tired of every time it's hard for them to win a thing, they demand a trade. There's no competitive balance in the league as a result of it.
As a fan, I get what you're saying, but it's a business. There's two ways.
But they're not impacting their business.
If you're the talent, you
are still getting paid your max deal.
But and if you don't like where you're at, you should be able to move. Like if I don't like where I'm at, but that's the other thing here. Like you don't like your job, Pat, but you sign.
I'm not signing a 6-year deal. I'm an at-will employee.
But if you don't like your job, you should be able to move.
But if you signed an agreement to do something contract, you are legally bound to that contract.
Not exactly. You're right. You could come in and you could say, "I'm not happy. I'd like to move," and it's up to. And your job says, "Okay, we're going to find a spot," and they did. Because James Harden came in, did his job every single night, and then they said, "Okay, we're not getting it. We're going to."
I don't know if he did his job. He really never played defense.
And he was sandbagging like a motherfucker the first.
No. Listen, he's always been sandbagging. If you ever watch him play defense. Go back to 2014 where Derrick Rose is running down the court and he gives him the little one of these numbers where he sticks his hand out trying to stop him and Derrick Rose just plays it in. He's never played defense.
The way the NBA started, it's going to kill the sport, in my opinion.
No, I mean, you see what
you ain't wrong about the fact that these super teams suck.
It's awful. I hate it.
Yeah.
Nobody likes it. I hate the NBA.
But to say it's a business, it's not. It's like
it is a business.
But it's saying they're getting paid the same amount of money, whatever team they're playing on.
But as a player, you're a business. You're your own business. You can't care about the fans. You can't care about the team. If you don't like where you're at, I'm out. And then it's up to the company to say, you know what? He doesn't like it here. I get it. Let's see what I can get for him.
We're going to either work you out or you're going to go sit at home and work it out.
And then we get to free
owners making all this money anyways, I would say then no.
Okay, which is fine. That's 1,000% fine.
Find me one owner that's going to do that. Give me who's got the balls to be like, nope, you assign this contract, you play it.
Nobody, because they're not dumb. Like, they understand that these guys want to be here. Let's see what we can get draft pick wise. Let's restart and rebuild. Also, you're right, James. You're in Houston. You've done everything for James Harden. It's not working. Goodbye. And I get it. Well, look at the Cubs. They have Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, all these guys, and none of them are going to sign until the end of the year. And what are you supposed to do? How hard would that job be? I'm getting it's not. We're definitely talking apple and oranges, but I'm just saying, like, if
you've had 4 years of that not working.
There's a little bit of difference between because you can qualify them and you can get if they sign somewhere else, you get a compensatory pick.
Yeah. Also, have you heard any of those guys demand trades in the last 3 years?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not apple and oranges, but I'm saying as a GM, your guy doesn't want to be here. You could say, "Hey, F it, stay here." Your coach could now you're losing games because you could tell the whole team is not in a happy spot, or you just
you're gonna lose games either way with these
or
guys.
You just say, hey, forget it. Our talent doesn't want to be here. Let's see what we can get, the best option we can get for it, instead of waiting for him to continuously not do anything.
I mean, I think if you wait this out a Lawrence, these guys are just gonna play. They're hurting themselves.
James Harden played, and he didn't, and he would have kept playing if they didn't trade him, but the team was garbage. So they figured out, listen, let's just get rid of him.
And what is that? What are those draft picks worth on a super team that you're getting from them?
You never know. What if you get the next LeBron?
Yeah, because LeBron's going to get picked 28th overall.
Well, they didn't get 28th.
Some of those picks may not be as
good.
Good yet. But
if you're getting Brooklyn's,
look at Butler. You had to get rid of Butler. But I'm just saying,
if you're getting Brooklyn's next 3 first-round picks, they're going to be 28.
No, but Brooklyn had some first round picks that weren't so miserable.
I just think the NBA's garbage.
Okay, but as a fan, I'm on your side on it. I don't like the super teams, but I also see it as a business.
Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
I don't.
Pussy.
I don't.
So what's going to happen in 5 years when these contracts are down and the NBA's other?
Hey, feel free to give us an answer. I love people who have all these complaints. MLB. What's your answer?
Look at the MLB. They're like, I don't know what the hell the owners are doing, but like, if you ever watch free agency, like nobody gets signed until January. Like some of the big guys don't get signed until January. The rest of them wait until March. And these guys are fucking pissed, and they're trying to file grievances.
All the MLB?
Yeah, the MLB, like the players.
They've all.
Well, that's because the owners.
The owners have finally been like, fuck it, we don't care.
The owners have an unwritten agreement. They don't pay people X amount more than X amount of money, really.
And again, this is what happens. Owners get together. Like it's the owners.
Yeah, once the owners learn that, like, we're just stop paying people more. And
you know who ultimately gets screwed is always the fans. Yeah. Like we just have to understand that. And you know what? The NBA is it's not going to be as popular. The best thing about the NFL is how at any year somebody from the top is going to be at the bottom and somebody from the bottom is going to be at the top.
Well, I mean the NFL also has much more injuries that can swing that too.
Yeah,
but I mean, one of these super teams get hurt. I mean, they can go.
Yeah, if the MLB was 162 games.
You know what the NBA really needs to do is, like you said, is they need to have a much harder cap.
Yeah, what they do is they jack the cap up with all the TV revenue they had.
Yep.
So
they have a pretty. I don't think their cap.
It exploded though.
But I don't think the max cap. Like the problem is they got like this max cap, but then you can go over it into like these luxury tax things. And then that's where it gets like out of
baseball and basketball both need hard caps like football.
Well, baseball doesn't have a cap. Baseball
has a luxury tax, which is kind of like
there's
only like 3 teams that go over now.
Yeah,
Boston,
I was gonna say
the Yankees and Dodgers.
That luxury tax.
The luxury. Okay. Well, the luxury tax is a real big issue.
This
on the
sports edition is brought to you by DLM Tax and Accounting. Do you need tax and accounting services? We know some really good guys who are gonna know their stuff. B, provide some of the best customer service out there. Check them out at dlmtax.com.
Stop shaking your head, you fucking jabroni.
I don't know if they would like you swearing in their commercial, but
jabroni over here shaking his head saying we're not the best.
Or you can reach them at admin@dlmholdings.net. Again, if you're looking for accounting and tax services, these guys are the best, and they're super nice to usually provide most of the beer and the drinks that we drink. So we appreciate their support on this Saturday Night Pregame podcast. Let's. All
right, so back to the MLB. I so rudely interrupted.
What do we have, Pat? How much time?
1:14.
Woo! Okay, so we got to get some good stories in here. End this on a fun note. I'm trying to think of my.
You guys are real Debbie Downers about the NBA stuff.
No, it's good. No, it's good though. I get it. I think a lot of people feel that way. I mean, You're right. Think about
all right, we're done.
Wait, just really quick. Think about the 90s. How great that competition was. And then there's none of that anymore. And then this year's finals was so good because it was just two non-super super teams. It was a lot of fun. And it wasn't LeBron James, so I think we're all gonna be happy about that.
Well, you'll see him next year.
Yes, that's for sure. If he gets Westbrook, because Westbrook, I do
got Westbrook.
Oh, did they? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know the trade. I thought they were working on a trade.
No, the trade went through.
Okay, well, it's gonna be.
They got a bunch of first rounders. They're gonna be useless.
Yeah. Oh, from the Lakers for sure. Damn it! I really was hoping LeBron was done. Tired of seeing him. So some feel good stories. I'm trying to think of the one that the website that I read. There was one. This is a feel good story, but I also thought about us, Chris. Chris lost a good amount of weight in 2020, and I think one of our big things that helped with that was kind of really honestly cutting out chips. Me and Chris used to eat
chips.
Love chips. We used to eat chips. Like, we'd go work out for an hour and a half. We'd go to Jewel and we'd get a bag of chips.
Buy a bag of chips and eat it.
Just ruin the last hour and a half of your
life. Yes! No, it was so bad.
Chips were great, though.
And Doritos.
So
Doritos. Oh, baby.
And they really were screwing with you when they would make them like $1.99, $2. Forget about it.
Say no. So this...
Now it's up to $3 a bag. Fuck those assholes.
We're out. We were...
Too much.
So I was reading, this young lady got a Dorito chip that was like a poof, like a regular, but it was like a big poof.
Like a big 3D?
No, like a regular, like almost.
The whole entire bag was just one big Dorito poof.
No, it was like a pretty size, and she put it on eBay and tried to sell it.
Nice.
Dorito came in and gave her $20,000.
What? Oh, why? That could have been us.
Did she melt these together probably in her backyard?
I don't know, Pat, but I'm thinking, in my head, me and Chris would have enjoyed the crap out of that chip. I would have thought.
Look at this badass puff chip.
Dorito sends you a message. I would have given you $20,000 for that. And Peter's like, trying to puke it up.
This girl looked at this chip and thought it was pretty. It was like, I'm going to sell it on eBay. Me and Chris would have enjoyed,
I wouldn't even notice. He was like, yes. Oh, big chip.
I was like,
big puffy chip, yes, score.
I don't know.
Look, I got 6 chips in one, guys. Still counts.
Okay, and then my one feel good story, and I this goes back to this is when we were 18 years old, and a couple of our buddies,
when we were drinking Ice House.
A couple of our buddies were smokers, and I'm like, guys, what are you gonna do when you get lung cancer? And my one buddy said to me, he said they're gonna make artificial organs at some point. And I was like, that's really hoping. That was his thought. I'm gonna be fine in 50 years from now when this ever hits. I'll just get an artificial lung.
It's only gonna cost you $250,000.
Also, you shouldn't get the artificial lung if you fucked up your first one intentionally.
So, a gentleman in North Carolina was at Duke University. In his 40s, out of nowhere, got massive heart failure. His heart just stopped working.
Wow. And
he needed to get a heart transplant, but life was declining very quickly. And in Italy or France, they have an actual artificial heart that they're doing trials on it, and it's like a 3D printed artificial heart that they put in his chest,
and it's working.
Does it
have a battery thing in it?
Yes.
It's got to have a pacemaker or something to make it beat.
But they were like, artificial heart, this guy's artificial heart transplant. I'm thinking this guy's gonna be great for life. He's gonna be able to run for days. No. It's only good until you can get an actual heart, which is crazy. Also, the thing looks like the size of this freaking case. If you can't a football, I was like, how's that fitting in his chest? This thing is huge. But it's also
one kid is bigger than the other.
Dude, you gotta stop hitting that right side of the bicep so hard.
Yeah, seriously. But I thought, oh, this is crazy. The world. I'm like, this is great because we're gonna have
no time at all. Peter be able to get that penis exchange.
I was thinking the arms, the arm.
Peter's I'm gonna get some biceps for these waxing inflatable 2-man arms.
But I thought that was really interesting, and that gives me a little light. And when the COVID is kind of going crazy, and at least we got some health stuff coming out.
Nice.
You got anything for me, Chris?
I don't.
Come on, baby. You brought nothing to the table today. No stories?
Nope. Nope.
Not even a try.
No, not even gonna try.
What are you looking forward to in Philly?
Nothing.
I'm not gonna leave this until you give me something. You brought 0 to the
He's looking for the wild women. The wild women.
You were about as good as Joseph Keneally in this podcast.
Yeah. Chris, are you in your own hotel room?
Huh?
Are you in your own hotel room?
I am.
Let's not get into that. No, brother.
I am. You know the lube.
Wow.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I really hope that wasn't on the podcast. My man, Sexy Pepsi coming in with the sexy.
I'm just gonna sleep in the lobby of the hotel.
I thought you were gonna sleep in the ice room, you know, like with the ice makers and
I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping in the suite with Max and Grace. You know, that's where I'm at.
2-bedroom. They got 2 bedrooms.
They got an air mattress in there for me. A little hammock.
It's not that you just crash into the hallway or something, you know.
Yeah. So if you guys get kicked out by your significant others over the weekend, you know, there's an extra queen size bed in this guy's room.
You got a double bed.
Yeah.
I went with the double too. How do you not go with the double?
Because it's only me and Katrina.
You gotta. Don't you want to play bed forts?
Don't you want to jump on one? Like,
yes.
Jump across.
Yes.
What happens if the bed sucks? Like, Pierre at least has the one. Like, this one's lumpy. I think I'm gonna sleep on the other one. You know, you give yourself at least.
Or if she starts, what if Katrina starts farting? You need to get to the other bed.
you need a little reprieve.
And so that whole 3 feet is gonna really do you a lot of good.
What happens at the end of the night when you guys are sitting in bed? When you're sitting in bed and you need those Laffy Taffies.
Yes! That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you don't want to show you want to be under the covers.
I'm gonna knock on your door, Chris. I'm gonna go stay in your bed.
And on that note, this has been another fun one, guys.
I still haven't brought anything to the table yet.
You really haven't.
I can give you another 30 minutes of the NBA if you're ready for it.
Yeah, I can see Beth's not done. It's not done. Absolutely not. But thank you again for thank you again for a wonderful Saturday night. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I want to talk about because we should be talking about the last Saturday's parties. The Cubs game was fun. That party was fun where we dominated.
You should save it for Joe Keneally's take on it too.
Yes, that's true.
Because he wasn't at either one. Joe, what do you got to say about that?
Thank you, Joe. But hey, we'll let it go. We don't want to keep people here too long. I like that ours is about an hour. So thank you for listening to us. If you're a first-time listener, please like, subscribe, check us out. We have a bunch of fun episodes. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Podcast S&P. You can reach us at the S&P Podcast at gmail.com. We have T-shirts. We got a bunch of content. We're really enjoying this podcast. Hopefully you guys are too. And if you're a repeat, thank you again for joining us. Have a great weekend. Get your pregame on, baby.
Hey, Peter. I still haven't brought anything to the table. Bye!